Uber's new chief brand officer tells Gayle King why she's fearless in her approach to rebuilding the company's image.
What do you want people to say or think when they first see you and get to meet you?
Oh, man. Gosh, what do I want people to say when they first meet me? Wow. Wow. Whether that's because of the way I look, or an idea expressed, or my conviction, whatever the thing is, just wow.
Well, wow.
Yeah, wow is right.
Wow is right. Ahead, her vision for the future of the ride-hailing giant after a wave of controversies. You're watching CBS This Morning.
Uber is trying to move past recent scandals and the resignation of CEO Travis Kalanick by changing its corporate culture. Those scandals, as you know, include sexual assault allegations and safety issues. The ride-hailing giant hired Bozoma St. John, remember that name, as its chief brand officer last month to help turn around the $68 billion company's image. We sat down with her at the Press Lounge in New York City the other day to find out why she is fearless in her new job. You're coming at a really dicey time where the brand is certainly under fire. There are charges of the company of sexual harassment, drivers behaving badly, customer safety is a concern. So you knew all of that going in, yet you still said, I want that job, which I think says something about you.
Probably. I'm not afraid. I've never been afraid of anything. And I see potential. I see opportunity. There's certainly things that have happened that I don't condone, that I'm not comfortable with, I'm not okay with. But I think representation matters, too.
As chief brand officer, Bozoma St. John says she'll focus on rebuilding Uber's relationship with riders and its drivers. It is a daunting task. The company has recently fired 20 employees after more than 200 investigations into claims of sexual harassment and other misconduct. Last month, its CEO, Travis Kalanick, resigned.
Well, I'm not naive about that at all. And by the way, those things are very serious. Again, it's about trying to be the representation for what I want to see. You know, I want change. I want things to be great for people of color and for women, for us to be able to show up at work, do our best work, and be appreciated for that work. So if I can contribute to that, and it's not going to be easy. You know, there's going to be lots of challenges. You know, I'm sure there'll be frustrating days. I'm sure there'll be times I cry, because I don't mind crying, by the way. But I'm hopeful. You know, and I think that's really what's driving me, is that I'm hopeful. I can see the larger picture.
Was Travis leaving the company difficult?
Yes. Yes. I mean, I think it's difficult anytime there is real significant change in a culture, you know, bad or good. So you have to recalibrate. People have to find new direction, new ways of moving, new ways of working. So it's always difficult.
What's the process now for finding new leadership at the company?
Well, I'm leaving that to the board.
Okay.
And those who are, you know, empowered to make those decisions. But I hope it's the right one.
When you think of Silicon Valley, you don't think of women, and you certainly don't think of diversity. You've checked 2 boxes there.
I'm checking all the boxes. Yeah, it's true. It's true. But it also feels like another opportunity, you know, where it feels like the immigration story. You know, in Colorado Springs, Colorado, my family moved there. We were the first Ghanaian family in Colorado Springs. But by the time I went to college, there were 4 or 5 families who were there. I feel the same way now. I've already seen it happen. So if I'm there and people can see me, maybe you'll come along too. You know, so there's a call to action. I'm right here.
Your family moves to Colorado, and you said you felt like an outsider. I'm thinking, why do you feel like an outsider? You're tall, you're black, and you're a woman.
Yeah.
What do you mean you didn't fit in Colorado? And you're from Ghana.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I was 12
And
at
you
the
were
time.
12.
You know, at the time when you don't want to be different from anyone. You don't want to speak differently. Certainly don't want to have an accent.
So how do you take that and make that work for you at 12?
For me, I turned it into an opportunity to get to know the people around me, studying pop culture, and I didn't know that's what it was called, of course.
Yeah.
You know, but watching TV shows, watching movies, listening to the radio, so that at school I could talk about what other kids were talking about. You know, maybe I wouldn't seem so strange if I connected with them on the level that they were used to.
But you know, that seems to have carried out to your adulthood today.
Yes.
St. John's ability to connect helped her conquer the world of marketing, where she became a powerhouse executive for some of the world's biggest brands, like Pepsi and Apple. I've heard you describe yourself as a change agent, an agent of change. What does that mean?
Well, every situation is unique. You know, in this one, part of it is an evolution, you know, not such a hard change. So it means talking to people, understanding the motivations, talking to people who are also communicating with the external team members, drivers, riders, etc., and really trying to combine those things into a cohesive message.
At what felt like the height of St. John's career, she lost her husband, Peter, to Burkitt's lymphoma, a rare form of cancer, in 2013. People get up and they think it's going to be a normal day, and by the end of the day, your life has changed irreparably.
Correct.
And you have to figure out a way to put one foot in front of the other and keep going. How did you do that?
Well, a couple of reasons. One, he told me to.
He told you to?
He told me to.
What did he say?
He told me to keep going, keep hustling.
Keep hustling.
Keep hustling. Yeah, keep going.
What does keep hustling mean?
Oh, man. It means to do what sometimes is impossible to do, finding the way out of no way. You know, keep hustling. Find the answers when it doesn't look like there is an answer.
I read that you call yourself super execu-mom.
Yes, I do.
What does that
the
mean?
Super execu-mommy.
Yeah.
Well, because, you know, I do have a cape. It's hidden behind my collar.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm an executive. I'm a mom. I do everything to the best of my ability. So I feel like that's super.
What are you teaching your daughter at this stage in her life?
Yeah. Well, I hope that she's learning that lots and lots of things are possible, you know, but it's not always the straight path, you know, and that just because something doesn't go right doesn't mean you go and hide, you know, that you get up and try something else. Or maybe you try it again. Try the same thing again. If it doesn't work, okay, new plan.
I also like your work philosophy. This is something that was fascinating to me about when it comes to salary negotiating tip.
Ooh, yes.
Tell me, because I think this will be very helpful for a lot of people. Your salary negotiating tip is what?
Give the number first.
Give the number first.
Yes, give the number first.
And you say make it high as hell.
Yes, make it high as hell, because then you can't be lowballed.
But that goes against everything we've been taught. Everything we've been taught is let them say it first, because you don't want to throw a number out there first, because maybe you'll price yourself out of a position.
Well, that's part of also knowing the range. You know, so do the work. I mean, don't just, you know, call a number out of the sky, but know the range, and then exceed the range. You know, because then you can negotiate down just a little bit. But if you know, allow someone to give you the number and it's too low, there's no way you can go back up. You know, you can't get that much higher. So you're negotiating from whatever start point.
What will be your definition of success for that job for you?
Wow, that's a great question. Success will be when I can stand at a cocktail party and someone will say, wow, that's such a cool place to be.
Because right now we're not hearing that about Uber. You know, you talk about people deleting their Uber apps or going from Uber to Lyft. And you go, okay, just watch. Is that what you're sitting there thinking?
Absolutely. Hashtag watch me work.
Hashtag watch me work. Oh, she's stabby. Listen, she's a real firecracker and very confident. She says one of the main things she wants to do is start telling a new narrative about Uber. She said there are a lot of positive stories there. The people who work there are hardworking, the drivers, and to let you know exactly who this company really is. She knows it has a big black eye right now, but she's convinced. And when you ask her what's her theme song of her life, Diamonds on the Sole of My Shoes, that Paul Simon song.
Oh, wow.
I know, I thought that was a nice choice for her.
Very interesting, yeah.
You're going to hear more about her.
I haven't seen her I've seen her in the papers, but I haven't seen her do any interviews
No, this was
before.
her first TV interview.
Yeah,
I'm
very good.
sure there's
Really.
more to come for that Bozoma St. John. You can hear an extended version. She's a single mom. She lost her husband to cancer years ago. She's had a lot of challenges in her life. She's ready. So you can hear more of the interview on CBS This Morning podcast. It's available on iTunes and Apple's podcast app. St. John's explains her technique for salary negotiations. I love this. And adapting to life in Colorado as a teenage immigrant from Ghana.